Hey, and welcome into the Big Ten Huddle. I'm your host, JR, and if you love Big Ten basketball and football, you need to subscribe to this channel and our other channel, which is for basketball as well. That is the Big Ten Huddle dash basketball. You can catch the basketball live streams, game recaps, everything we do over there. If you find the podcast feed, that's everything all combined into one, so you can just check that out. If you're listening on podcast, please do give us a 5-star rating, subscribe. If you're on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I really appreciate it. It helps me to give you all better content. And at the end of the day, that's what you want. Better content. All right, folks, let's talk today about diving into one of the hottest topics in college football right now, the recruitment saga of Jonas Williams, the top quarterback out of Frankfort, Illinois, who's currently committed to the Oregon Ducks, but has all the signs pointing toward a potential flip to USC. So let's break it all down, where Jonas Williams stands, why USC is trending, and what this means for the Trojans. The Ducks, and even a couple of other programs in there as well. There's a lot to unpack here, so just get ready and stay with me. Jonas Williams is no ordinary recruit. This kid is a 4-star quarterback out of Lincoln Way East High School in Illinois. According to 24/7 Composite, he is ranked as the number 1 prospect in the state of Illinois, the number 6 quarterback nationally, and the number 93 overall in the 2026 class. He's 6'2", 200-pound signal caller with a skill set that turns heads. Think about, really strong arm. He has mobility, the ability to make plays both in and outside of the pocket. Can create for himself and others. I'm going to play his junior film for you here, just so that way you're able to see the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So that way, while I'm talking here, but this is important stuff, right? It, and this is in this film, you're going to see 80-yard touchdown runs, beautiful deep balls, and a knack for throwing the ball on the move with pinpoint accuracy. This isn't just hype. This kid's highlight reel, it's pretty long, and for good reason. Williams committed to Oregon back in August, on August 3rd, 2024, and at the time, it was a huge win for the Ducks. It was a huge win for head coach Dan Lanning, his staff. They had been going after him. They really wanted him. But here's where the plot thickens. Fast forward to today, right, February 2025, and the momentum has shifted. USC and Lincoln Riley are making a serious push, and the chatter is that Williams might flip to the Trojans sooner rather than later. There was even one insider that said this could happen before the weekend. So who knows? Maybe by the time I post this, he's already committed, right? LSU and Ole Miss are in the mix too, but USC is the name that everyone is on everyone's lips. And let's dig into why. When Jonas committed to Oregon last summer, it looked like the perfect match. The Ducks were building a monster in the 2026 class. In fact, they're currently ranked number 1 pretty much anywhere you look at. I haven't checked Rivals or ESPN, but 24/7 and On3, they're ranked number 1. And Williams fit their spread attack like a glove. He's got the mobility for run-pass option, the arms to stretch the field, and the instincts to make quick decisions. Plus, Oregon's been in a recruiting tear lately, and Williams has been a cornerstone piece for them in this class. But then came along Jared Curtis. If you're unfamiliar with Curtis, he is a 5-star 2026 quarterback from Nashville, Tennessee, ranked number 1 at his position by some outlets. He decommitted from Georgia, and Oregon immediately jumped into the fray, hosting him and making him a priority. Now, here's the kicker. Oregon is all in on Curtis. They want Curtis more than anybody else, it seems like, in the class right now. And they've gone for the risky route of prioritizing him over Williams. That's not to say they don't want Jonas. They'd love to have 2 signal callers in this class. They'd love to have 2 quarterbacks. But when a program starts chasing a higher rated guy, it can send a message to the current commit. Hey, maybe we're not as interested in you as you maybe thought we were before. And Williams has been paying attention to this kind of attention that Jared Curtis is getting. Since Curtis entered the picture, Williams has started looking around to other places. He's taken visits and talked to other programs, and suddenly his commitment to Oregon doesn't feel so rock solid as much as it did 6 months ago. Oregon fans have been tracking the quarterback drama like a soap opera, right? And for good reason. it's just started. It's getting heated up, and things are getting going ever since Jared Curtis decommitted from Georgia. It feels eerily similar to Michigan last year and how they started pursuing Bryce Underwood so heavily. All the numbers and the NIL dollars that were thrown out there. It left a bad impression on their current the one that they had currently committed, Carter Smith, and he decided to go to Wisconsin. For Williams, it wasn't Wisconsin. It is Lincoln Riley in the USC Trojans. If there's one coach who knows how to recruit quarterbacks, who knows how to flip quarterbacks, it's Lincoln Riley. He's turned USC into a QB factory. He's turned his name into a QB artist for people. Now, think about Caleb Williams, who Jonas has been compared to stylistically. And speaking of that comparison, it's not just hype. Analysts who have watched Jonas Williams' film say he's got a strong arm, runs exceptionally well, and I have to agree with them. And if you watch this film, I think you're agreeing with them as well. And he thrives in a system that lets him move out of the pocket, create. Sound familiar, right? That's who Lincoln Riley loves. That's Lincoln Riley's playbook to a T. USC finished, excuse me, USC first reached out to Williams casually last summer, but things didn't really heat up until the winter. In February 2025, Williams visited. It was just this past. No, it wasn't this past Monday. It was the first when Williams visited USC for the first time, and it was a game changer. Riley followed that up with a personal visit to Lincoln Way East in January, spending significant time with Jonas. That's not something Riley does for just anybody. He only goes all out for the top dogs on his list, and after the visit, things were obviously going well for the Trojans. By Wednesday, Williams was already getting predictions for USC to flip, for USC to flip Williams. Williams has an official visit set to USC this spring, but the buzz is that he might not even take that long to commit, right? He might just make a decision. Like I said, one of the analysts thinks could possibly happen by the end of the week. Could it happen before spring practices or the June official visit window? That's the $1 million question. So why is USC the front runner? Let's break it down. First, there's the fit, right? He looks polished and in control. He looked polished and in control at the OT7 7-on-7 qualifier in Dallas last April and Nike's Next Ones event in New Orleans. He's got a strong arm, quick feet, like we've talked about, like you've seen on the film here. He's got a strong, quick feet, ability to throw accurately on the run, the ability to create for players in his system. That's gold in Lincoln Riley's offense, which loves to challenge his defense with tempo, deep shots, and QB mobility. One scout even said they'd take Williams over Jared Curtis for USC specifically because he's a better stylistic match for Lincoln Riley. That's high praise. Second, there's the momentum. USC's 2026 class is already stacked, ranked number 2 by On3 and ranked number 3 by 24/7, with 9 commits, and adding another top 100 guy like Williams would solidify their standing. Plus, Riley's been recruiting Jonas hard. Like I said, going to his house, treating him like a top dog, and the kids noticed. In a recent quote, Williams said, "Coach Riley, he is the driving factor in my recruitment. He's been recruiting me pretty hard." Also, what they did with the 25 class and what they're doing with the 26 class is pretty intriguing. His dad, his name is John, loved the USC visit too, calling the campus impressive and Lincoln Riley trustworthy and humble. When the family's on board, that's a huge sign. All right, I'm going to take this down now since it's over. So when the family's on board, that's a huge sign. Third, there's the Oregon factor, right? If Williams feels like he's not the top priority for the Ducks anymore, USC becomes a no-brainer. Lincoln Riley's track record with quarterbacks, Heisman winners, NFL draft picks speaks for itself, and also maybe there's a little rivalry aspect here, right? Like, you chose Jared Curtis over me. Why would you want them? Maybe you see a little bit of the West Coast Big Ten rivalry here. That'd be pretty fun. And with USC having no QB committed in 2026 yet, Jonas would be their guy. That's a big draw. Now, Do not sleep on LSU and Ole Miss. Both programs have been pushing hard to get Williams on campus. LSU's trying to lock in a March visit right now, and the Tigers are getting desperate after losing out on Bryce Underwood. What kind of money are they going to throw at him? What kind of opportunities are they going to give him since they don't have Bryce Underwood on their campus like they thought they were going to most of last cycle? Ole Miss is in the picture too with plans of an official visit this summer, but both schools run high octane offenses that could suit Jonas's game, and they're not giving up without a fight. Then there's Ryder Lyons. Ryder Lyons, another 5-star 2026 quarterback from Folsom, California. He's a top target for both USC and Oregon. And you might think, well, why isn't USC just going after him? Here's the twist. Lyons is planning on an LDS mission after high school, meaning he won't enroll until 2027. That makes him a long-term play, and it's possible USC could land both him and Williams if things break right. Imagine that, a top QB haul with Jonas in 2026 and Lyons in 2027. Obviously, Oregon would want the same thing with Jared Curtis and Lyons. That would be really good for them. Oregon's in the same boat, battling for Lions alongside Ole Miss, who's involved, and also BYU. Should be no surprise there, as they are where many Mormons eventually choose to go. This quarterback carousel is wild. If Jonas flips to USC, and right now that's the way it's trending, it's a massive win for the Trojans. Not only do they get an elite QB who fits their system perfectly, but it could also boost their chances with other 2026 targets like wide receiver Vance Spafford and Caden Dixon-Wyatt. A top 100 commit like Williams sends a message USC is the place to be, giving them more of that cachet that they love to be able to recruit off of. For Oregon, it's not an issue as long as they land Curtis, right? But losing Williams to a rival like USC would sting, and obviously, there'd be some fans arguing about it, as fans always do. Well, sue us. That's what we do. So where do things go from here? I do think USC flips Jonas Williams. The tea leaves are there. Riley's pursuit, the family's buy-in, the predictions, and Oregon's focus on Curtis. Could LSU or Ole Miss swoop in? Sure. Like I said, LSU's desperate. Ole Miss is trying to find somebody right now. Sure, they could go and make up some ground here. But my gut says Williams will announce for USC before the summer, probably cancel that Ole Miss visit. He might take the LSU visit, but probably not. And maybe even the next few weeks if the momentum keeps building and he cancels that LSU. Well, I guess he doesn't cancel it. He doesn't have it set yet, but he never takes that LSU visit. This kid's too good, and Riley is too relentless for this to slip away. What do you think, though? Will Jonas Williams stick with Oregon? Will he flip to USC? Will a surprise of LSU or Ole Miss come into play? Drop your takes in the comments. Hit me up on social media. I'd love to hear from you. That's going to do it for this episode of the Big Ten Huddle. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Would love to hear what you all are thinking. Give us a 5-star rating on podcasts. Follow us on social media at the Big Ten Huddle. That is the Big Ten Huddle. Super simple, easy to remember. Spell it out. It's not that hard to spell. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.